Hi everybody, my name is Jared and I am a Master Mason in the state of Mississippi in the United States of America. And today's viewer's question is, I would love to know if a Mason can work for or can find a job in a company owned by a Mason. Well, the easy answer is yes, of course they could. There's nothing that stops a Freemason from hiring another Freemason, but there is nothing that says that a Freemason has to employ another Freemason. So let me tell you a little bit about my situation. My career, my day job, puts me in a position where I perform the hiring for a department inside of our county government. Okay. And with that, I accept applications and resumes from people of all walks of life. Some of them are straight off the street, so to speak, and have no experience in my line of work, and others have worked in other organizations with similar fields and want to move over to our area. And occasionally, that person happens to be a Freemason. So let me tell you how that works, because sometimes the misunderstanding that's out there is that, oh, the Freemason's going to hire Freemason, or if I'm a Freemason it's going to get me a promotion, or some other nonsense like that. And it's just not true. Certainly, at least not in my experience. If it's happening, it should not be happening. The only thing that benefits a Freemason working for another Freemason, or a Freemason hiring another Freemason, is that strictly based on the familiarity that they have being a part of this fraternity, is that I know I can look you square in the eye and you're going to look me straight back in the eye and tell me the cold hard truth. So I don't have to worry about having an employee who is going to try and give me some lie about why they were late for work, or why they made a mistake, or how a mistake happened, or anything like that. And similarly, that employee can come straight to me and ask me a question and know that I'm going to give them the straight truth and not just try to feed them some nonsensical line from upper management and then doesn't really answer the question, or just blows smoke, as they say, or things like that. So there is that relationship where you just absolutely know that you're getting the truth out of your employee or out of your employer. But that said, in my profession, at the very least, we go through a hiring process. And the only time I have ever hired a Freemason is when that person was the most qualified person for the job. Plain and simple. And when that person is hired, I sit down with them and I tell them to their face, I hired you because you're the most qualified person for the job. Your status as a brother in the fraternity did not influence my decision. I want you to know that as a brother, I expect you to be open and honest with me at any time, just like I know you expect that out of me. And should we ever have to part ways one from another, I expect us to be able to sit down and talk about that and part ways and still be friends and brothers. I have, in the last 8 years, hired 3 Freemasons. None of them work for the organization any longer, for different reasons. But that's just what happens. They were never promoted beyond the lowest level, so to speak, and all of them moved on to other employment for various different reasons. So I hope that maybe gives you some understanding, and maybe it sort of corrects some of the misunderstandings that are out there about how it's some sort of a scheme to get risen up in an organization. I will go so far as to tell you that I served on an investigation committee for someone who petitioned our lodge at one point, and during the investigation process, we asked the very simple question, why do you want to become a Mason? And the answer from the man was purely and simply, without even thinking twice about it, Well, I know there's so many Freemasons at work, and I think that if I join the organization, that maybe it can help me get that promotion. That person was not admitted into the fraternity because that is considered a mercenary motive, and that is not permitted for petitioning a lodge. You literally have to sign a line saying that you're not trying to join the lodge for mercenary motives. You're not trying to get hired. So that was that for that individual. So if that's what you think Freemasonry is about, or that's what you're trying to get out of Freemasonry, then it's just not a fraternity that's for you. That's not what you're going to get out of it. That's not what it's there for. And it would be better for you and for the fraternity, especially in the long term, for you and the fraternity, that you didn't even bother with it. Go and find other ways to impress your superiors and work your way up the chain that way. Because in my experience, simply being able to walk up to someone and tell them you're a Freemason has never gotten anybody a promotion. It's being able to do the job and do the job well, just as promotions happen inside of Freemasonry itself. Just because you want to be a fellow craft doesn't mean you go from enter apprentice to fellow craft. You have to prove that you have learned your job as an entered apprentice, that you know it proficiently, and then you receive the promotion. It's not just given to you because you're already an entered apprentice or because you're a Freemason. You have to work towards it and earn that honor, whether it be inside of Freemasonry or at regular employment. If you have any other questions about this topic, leave them down below. And if you disagree with anything that I've said, then hey, leave that comment as well. I think the channel thrives because of a lot of the good, positive things that come out of the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.